Hi, welcome to another commentary tutorial. Next, I want to add some specific details, like I want some planks on this window here, because it's maybe broken or something. So let's add a plane, rotate 90 degrees. And make it a little bit non-uniform, so enable proportional editing with the random, and we can play with this bit. Okay, maybe let's scale this. Okay, now you can just place it here somewhere. One more. Okay, I like that, but let's modify it a bit. So it doesn't go through. Okay, and I want this on the outside. So maybe rotate it like this. Right now, I really want to have some detail here, some step or something like that. I don't know how it's called, but you know what I mean. A ledge or something. And maybe here too. Oh, you know what? Not here. And let's add doors here as well. I think this is a very good place for some door. Now, if there is one thing that the Cyberpunk back alley needs, it's some signage and neon lights, that's for sure. So we'll add some lights and some billboards or something like that, and I really want to start on this building, so let's just add a plane. Sorry, rotate on the y-axis. Scale it, and let's move it on the Y and Z plane. You can do that by pressing G and Shift X, so you lock it only on these axes, and move it somewhere you like. I'm really just thinking of this as I go. So you can do whatever you want here. I think this would look nice. Okay, I'm abstracting the corner in the background, so maybe we would need to move it here. And this makes perfect sense now. Little coincidence that the window is barred because you know someone put a big neon sign there and you need to bar your windows so you can get some sleep. So nice coincidence. I like coincidences like this. And let's extrude the sign, make it really thick because it's a electric signage. Extrude it inwards maybe. And let's add some cylinders. I think 6 vertices would be enough. Rotate on X. Scale it down. If you are working within one object and you're in the edit mode, if you would select all, you would select the whole mesh. So if you only want to select one closed object, you can press L to select linked. It's sometimes useful so you don't have so many objects in the scene. And let's add another one, but maybe it is too thick. So let's scale it on the Z and X. Okay, we'll need to move it a little bit here. Okay, so that's one sign we want to have, but I really want to have another sign up here, and maybe, just maybe, it could be a heart or something like that, because this building could be some entertainment house, and you would have like a club or a bar section here, where there is a big window and there is a seating behind there or something like that, and then you get these entertainment rooms. So yeah, I really like that idea. So let's add a heart, but I want it to look pixelated. Okay, so scale it to half. Apply the scale, it's Ctrl A, apply. You will see the scale is now 1, not 0.5. And let's extrude the pixel heart by just pressing E and 1. And this way you can really easily build some pixel art. Okay, maybe one more row. And right now I want to make one more like this. So just E1. And then just this one. Okay, I think this is hard, isn't it? Yeah, let's assume it's hard. And let's scale it down here. So we will have some nice glowing pixel heart here. Okay, I want to do some more signs and lights, and we can continue here. I really think here is the very good place for some larger billboard. And we can again start with the plane and rotate it on the y-axis, scale it down. And let's extrude this and set a little bit. Okay. I think the placement's good, but we'll need to move this air conditioning a little bit so it doesn't get in the way. Right now I don't really know what I wanted, what designs or graphics or typography I want to do on these signs. Let's worry about that later. Now we would need some lamps, and I think the 3 would do, but I really want to have some lighting here, some neon lighting on the ceiling here. And it will be very easy to do. We can again start with the plane and scale it on the z-axis too, and now just extrude it down and set extrude, and we can bevel this. 2 steps will be enough. Okay, and maybe move it up a bit. I think this will do for a light. And again, we won't see it, but I want to move it a little bit to the outside. So maybe part of it is visible. No. Nope, it won't be, but never mind. We are detail-oriented artists. And we would know that there is no proper light there, and I couldn't live with that, so let's add it here. I think I want to add some street lamp here on the pole. So let's start with maybe a cylinder. And rotate this. Let's bring it out. And let's snap the cursor here and add a cube. Can do everything with cube and plane. Okay, and we can bevel this, but just 1 step, that will be enough. Now select the aisle, move it up. Okay, I like this much more, I think. Yeah, and we can extrude this. If you have a feeling that I don't know what I'm doing, you're perfectly right. I really don't right now, but that's okay, because it's always an exploration process. We could maybe check some references for street lamps but right now I want to do this freestyle. And let's have a look how it looks in the isometric. I want to scale it up. Okay, let's move it down a bit. Okay, I think I like this. And we can duplicate it and move one to the building as well. So duplicate, move here, rotate it. Yeah, I think the 2 lamps will be enough, because if we put some in here in the back, it will be too lit up, and I want this corner to be really dark and just have some glow from the windows or something like that. We'll see. So that's for the street lamp. Right now we can add some more details, like the 1 or 2 more signs, and then I really want to do some cables and electricity stuff. And we'll start to move some props that I shown you in the beginning in the place. We'll move a car here and the vending machine and stuff. So let's do the sign. I really want to have some arrow here or something like that. So let's get closer and add a plane. And I think we can delete the edge here and make it like a single shape, or it really doesn't matter. So let's add a face here and extrude it all. And you know what? Let's do the inset. Delete the face. Let's extrude this. Can be our arrow. Now for the cables. There are a bunch of cables that we would need, and I want to start with the vertices, and then we'll convert them to curves. I think that'll be the easiest way how to do this. I kind of want to think about where the cables would actually go, but at the same time I'm really looking at the compositional balance of the scene, and sometimes I really don't care whether the cable would give a sense or not. So you can do it any way you like, basically. Let's add a single word and extrude it here. Let's switch to vertex, extrude. Maybe I would like to have some sign here, but never mind, we'll just bring the cable around. But we really don't want to be that far of the wall, so maybe like this, and go this direction. Okay, and behind the corner. Okay, now we can duplicate this, grab it, move it around. Okay, and maybe one more. Maybe one more here. Okay. Now I want some cables to go in this direction toward the lamps. Now for the more cables, I really want these things to go on the buildings as well. So let's enable snap to the face and align and project. And if you Alt D, you can see we can snap it anywhere we want, and it's very easy. Let's do some cables over this building as well. I think the same stuff that we have done on the first building will suffice. So let's just extrude this. Okay, what did I miss? Let's add some here. And just drag it out. Duplicate. Just to have something going on here when you look from the top. And maybe here as well. Right now I see for some reason I made these cables as a separate object. So I want to join them with Ctrl J. And there really isn't any reason right now to have them separated. And let's make some cables going from the pole towards the buildings. And we would need this here as well. Maybe here as the cables go. And right now, just move the cursor here. Go to the cables object and add a vertex. And just extrude it here. Doesn't have to be precise, it doesn't really matter that much. Oh, the snap is enabled again. Okay. Great. Now make some subdivisions with the Ctrl R, loop cut. And with the proportional editing enabled again, you can do it with pressing O. We want this to hang. Okay, but first let's just select it, duplicate it, press H to hide, and now select this, move it, and now if you press Alt H, the original is unaffected. You can duplicate it again, hide, select this one, grab, and move it along. So you can do some nice hanging cables. Okay, let's Alt H. Now you can hide these if you want and modify just this one. I don't know what this vertex does here, but really want to delete it. Now Alt H, and we have some cables, and let's do some more from here. And now let's do that magic trick again, where we have a bunch of vertices and edges, and you go to Object, Convert to Curve, and do some bevel. And we have some nice looking cables. And we can modify them even further, because as I said before, these parts are too much uniform. So we can go... actually, we would need to go back. So let's jump back and modify it before we convert to curves. If you have curves already subdivided, you can edit them even after converting, of course. And we could edit them as curves. There would be no problem with that, but I think this is easier now, just to make a bunch of subdivisions. And play with it here. It doesn't have to be uniform. You can go wild here. It won't really matter that much. And right now with the proportional editing turned on, just enable random a little bit and try to move it around a bit. Really, the subtle changes should be enough to make the scene and the cables interesting. You can switch to smooth sometimes and really just make them go from side to side. And we forgot about these. These for sure wouldn't be straight, as these are on the ground. So let's mess it up. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. And right now we can convert the curve and add some depth. There you go. You have some nice cables around. Now, time to place some objects. And I can enable the props collection here. And select the objects and move them out of the way. I think this would look nice here next to the curb, so let's just rotate it and move it in place. I think it will give a nice touch here, and the car is important. I want to have it here, and I think the size of the car, is it okay? No, it's too big, isn't it? Let's make it smaller, maybe like this. We can't go according to dimensions because the scene isn't made to scale. So this will need to be just the rough estimate. And this is a DeLorean that I made as a Back to the Future fan art. So here in the back it doesn't have windows because there was the time machine tech there. I might leave it like this. I really don't care if it has a window in the back or not. So the car would be parked here. I think the size is good. And I want the vending machine here, as I mentioned earlier. So let's put it there. And I don't know, that's too big. We need to make it smaller for sure. Maybe like this. And I want these tires to go here. So the guy that owns DeLorean probably just left them here. And maybe someone would need them. So this will be okay. But I want this here as well. And we want some papers lying around, some boxes. Now this here is really a part when the scene starts to come to life. When you start adding those little details, you know, we really didn't make anything advanced with the buildings. These are just the original boxes we made. But with adding up the details, like the bars and the barred window, you know, the cables and stuff, and adding some points of interest here too, we give some to go around the picture. Now I want to really look at the scale of the whole thing. Maybe move this up a bit and compare like the barrel to the size of the car, the boxes and stuff. If there's anything that would look like too big or too small. Okay, but I think we pretty much nailed it. I would leave it like this. We don't want it too cramped, too much stuff going on, so it's a mess, but at the same time we don't want many empty spaces, as I would say it. So I think this is okay here, that the road is a place where the eye can rest a bit, because there's nothing going on there. But I would like to have some puddles of water there later, so the neons and all the lights are reflecting on the road, and I think that'll be enough for the details for this part here. And maybe we can duplicate the papers some more. Now let's add some finishing touches so we can move on to the applying materials and lighting. So I want to leave this roof as is, because we can make some puddles there as well as on the road, so it'll be good. I wanted to do a chairs here, as I mentioned earlier, so let's do that right now. The chairs would be very simple. Just make a plane and bring it up a bit. Select the edge and you look from the side, you can now extrude some chair. Maybe we can modify this too a little bit. Right, and let's snap the cursor Let's add the single word. And extrude it out here. Extrude it on the Z axis only. And now move it out. Yeah, that will be it. And now we can bevel it. Okay, and remove double vertices, so we don't have a bunch of vertices in the middle. Now we can convert this to the curve and give it some depth, but only 0.05, and we want to add solidify to this. And we got ourselves some chair. Let's fix it up. Okay, and let's make a parent. I think it's too high. Okay, we have a chair. Now let's place it somewhere. I think it will need to be bigger a little bit. Now let's select it all. Okay, so we have some chairs on the roof. Now I want to finish the signs, so we would need some fonts to do it, because I don't want to use the default font. And I went to the Google Fonts and I've selected Megreen, Monotone and Pacifico, but you can go have a look around and choose whatever fonts you like. I just wanted to show this, so first of all you know what fonts I used, and the second that you need to download or use some font files to be able to use them in Blender. So you just download them, and then you can reference them in the Blender. Now let's use the font files, and first of all we would need some writings. So I want to do this sign here, so let's move the cursor and Shift A, and here you have text somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Just rotate it on the x-axis and on the z, and we could go to the text options. Okay, it looks like Blender doesn't have a vertical text option, so we would need to use the new line and then alignment. So let's try that. I'm thinking what I want to write, I don't know, good times. Good times would be a nice sign. Okay. Good times. And we will need to align it to the middle, but first let's select the font file, and you can find it right here, and you just open the directory, look for your fonts, and I don't know which one I wanted to use for this. I think this one. Yeah, why not? Okay. Now we want to align it in the center. Okay, let's change the type. Let's change it to hugs. Okay, and the text, similar to the curve, has some options to make it the geometry. And here you have offset and extrude values, and if you extrude it, you can easily give it some volume. I think this will be enough. So we have our first sign. Free hugs, everybody. And here, this looks like some billboard or something. Like there's an ad over there, so maybe the font will tell us, because sometimes you need just a little push. So let's select the Pacifico, I think it was. Nope, I don't mean this one, I mean this. Okay, this is quite nice. Well, it can be ad for DeLorean. I think that looks cool. And I like it like this. So maybe we just need a new line. And let's set the line height somewhere. Line spacing, yep. Okay. And we can extrude the geometry as well here. So it has some volume. Right. It's cool. And I want a little writing here. So it's a nice contrast because we have a large empty area here and we have a density of objects and things to look at here. So I really want to balance that out. And this will be bar. And let's select some font. It will be Pacifico. Okay. And maybe let's try this. Nice. We can make it a little bit bigger. And extrude. If you don't want just extrude the text, but you want add a bevel, you can do that too. But in this case, we are in the low poly setting, so not necessary right now. And I think we can work with that later when we have the materials and the lighting in place. Maybe we will see that it needs some more stuff, so we can add it later. Now let's move to the materials and lighting.